Hello the internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sepia. We're going to be talking about TOVE and her full review. Before we start, we already have the review on the website. If you prefer the written format, it's right there. It's similar to what we're going to be talking here. Most likely all of the same points. But if you prefer a written format, it's on the website waifus.com. That said, let's get into the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and let's talk about the newest character and why you might probably want to skip her. And to start this with, if you go to my blog and to my previous live stream, you can see that we did most of the testing on that stream. Not really a surprising unit, kind of underwhelming actually. We were expecting a unit that it's only usable for raids, right? But the problem is it's only usable for raids and nothing else. Like, she even for that content is gonna be underwhelming and super dependent on the type of boss we get. We'll talk about that in a second. I wanna do one more multi in here in the video to see if I can get the streamer lag and get enough banner. Why? Because we're gambling addicts. So congratulations and welcome home. Who? Let's see who. By the way, we might be getting some new limiteds for... Oh my god. Oh, let's go. I was for a second thinking that I got shafted, but we got lucky. We got lucky. We might be getting new limiteds for Christmas. So I will say, you know, save resources. Don't pull here. Don't be like me. Hopefully it's enough banner. If it's another TOVE, that's fine. If it's something else, I would even prefer that. I'm missing one Viper for MLP. So, oh, actually fucking great. What's this? I'll take it. I'll take it. Even better than getting TOVE is getting my core one. That's really, really good. Happy with this multi. Thank you, YouTube, for giving me this boost in lag. And let's get directly into the full review for our new girl, TOVE. So let's start with her kit itself, talking skill by skill. Then we'll talk about the best cube, the skill investment, the overload stats, team compositions, which is the most important part. And this is her biggest flaw. I was talking about this on my previous video, but this is still her biggest flaw. The team compositions, because she's super limited. And when it comes to skills, she is a super high investment unit for what she has to offer, for a low return on investment. She is a high maintenance waifu, like Lando was saying on the stream. She needs a skill 1 at level 9, which I'm not gonna be leveling. Why? Because as you can see, it's a 4% chance of activating, but at level 9 it's a 5%. So you actually need this at 5%, because this is 5% of chance of activating when attacking, reloading a percentage of her own magazine, and then when this actually procs, she will also increase the max ammunition capacity and critical damage of all units for 5 seconds, and this can stack up to 3 times. And this is important because skill 2 only activates when this is fully stacked. Now the problem is, even at the 5%, level 10, 5%, no overload, she cannot maintain this 100% of the time. So she needs to be overloaded with max ammo. And then if you have her with max ammo lines on her, you can be running Bastion. If you don't have max ammunition lines, you should be running Resilience for the reload speed, because Bastion is not enough, and you will see this when you run her. So more or less it's like around an 85%, which is pretty accurate to what Ali Jane was saying on his hot take video, if I remember correctly. So around an 85-90% of the time she will keep this at max stacks, but she falls off a little bit, and during bursts, at least a couple of times per battle, she will lose the stacks. So she cannot maintain this all the time. For that, you'll need a really high investment, at least level 9 and overloaded gear, which is a lot for this unit. When it comes to skill 2 and burst, level 4 is more than enough. I'm gonna be resetting her the next time we can. So the skill number 2 only procs when this is fully stacked and will increase critical rate for all of the allies. A 2% even at max level is not enough. The number is low and not worth it, but the good part is that this also only for shotguns increases attack speed by a really big ass percentage. And let me go to the Wikipedia so we can actually see the full numbers in here. Let's come here to TOVE, status details, come here, which is a 3.32% for critical rate and then a 42% for the attack speed. The attack speed is what makes her good for shotgun teams and actually makes all shotguns already better than they are. And this is good but also bad, because this is what limits so much team composition. She's a burst 1, so we need cooldown reduction. Right, and then you need shotguns. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about her burst lastly, which is Miracle of Makeshifts, affecting all allies, increasing attack by 2%. This is bad, but mirroring the stack count is great. And then affecting all shotguns, she also mirrors the stacks and increases the stack by 24%. This is pretty good, pretty solid. Still, again, level 4 to 7 is more than enough. I will not invest in this unit at that much. The problem is that she requires a skill 1 at least level 9, and that is a lot of materials from what she has to offer. But it is what it is, right? Now let's talk about the skills. Let's talk about the overload stats and the priorities for everything. So like I was saying, when it comes to the cubes, there's only 2 real options, Bastion and Resilience. Without overload, I will go Resilience. With overload and max ammunition lines, I will go Bastion. When it comes to the overload stats, it's going to be max ammo and attack. That's her highest priority for the burst and for the max ammo, because it's important for her to proc more often. And then the rest can be fillers. So this can be hit rate, this can be critical, this can be elemental, this can be whatever you get. It's not a problem, right? But she is a unit that requires high investment, which is a pity because it's not really worth it. Let's talk about the important part, which is team compositions. Team compositions are really weird with her. Why? Well, as I was saying earlier, she needs cooldown reduction, right? So let's say you have TOVE here as your B1, then you need cooldown reduction on your burst 2. There is no B3 right now that can provide that. Your only 2 options are Dola and Helm Aquamarine. Helm Aquamarine doesn't provide anything for the team other than the cooldown, so you might want to run Dola because you also get attack and critical boosts with that, which is pretty good. So now you're left with 3 spots that should be shotguns, so actually makes sense to use TOVE, right? The biggest or the best in a slot for this team is going to be Sugar most of the time, but when we talk about boss with constant adds, it's going to be actually Maiden, not Sugar. But Sugar is going to be the best in the slot for most of the content. She already has a real attack speed on her burst, which combined with all of the boosts from Dola and from TOVE will transform her into a killing machine 100%. So she's gonna be the best in a slot. What about the other 2 slots? Well, this is when it gets complicated, right? So you can either run full shotguns. Drake is gonna be probably the second best option as a sub DPS and also a support because she's providing hit rate and attack buffs. But there is some other ones that you can be running. So for example, if we go to shotguns only, I will remove Drake. Isabel has the problem of, okay, if it's a long fight, you can run her. If not, not really worth it. If you don't have anything else, you can be running Neve, but it's an SR unit, low scaling. When we talk about Maiden, it's only when there are multiple adds, so she can take advantage of her burst. If there is no multiple enemies, it's not worth running Maiden. When we talk about Nor, she's more of a support rather than an actual unit or an actual DPS. She can be run as your last unit, but there are better options. And then when we talk about Summer Anis, you cannot run them together. She will have on burst around 10 to 60 bullets. That's a lot of bullets. She needs to have 1. So you cannot really run Summer Anis with TOVE because of the max ammo and the duplication of stacks make it is too high. So she's a no-no. And the best option, like I was saying, is going to be this composition when it comes to pure shotguns, supports and DPS. You could also be running, however, if we come to clear, instead of Nor, something like Privacy. The problem with Privacy is she's good, but she's reducing the max ammo. So she's providing reload speed, which makes Sugar even better. The biggest problem with running Sugar as your main DPS and why this team will never be meta team or team 1 is because Sugar becomes super strong, but she still takes forever to reload, so you cannot achieve full potential. If you run Privacy, you fix that problem of reloading, but then you run into the second problem, which is you are reducing the ammo for TOVE to proc skill 1 and then making her kit work worse, right? So you can run this if TOVE is fully invested with max ammunition lines. If not, I would never run Privacy. I will always run something like Nor for that full shotgun team. When it comes to other shotguns that are not B3s, there are a couple options you could be putting in here. So the first one, and the one most people will be using, is going to be Guilty as an off burst, not bursting with her. You need the cooldown reduction, but you will be duplicating the attack of your highest DPS. So if Sugar is super invested, you should be running Guilty because she will transform also into a complete monster. The problem is this requires a super invested shotgun team, which most people don't have. If it's something you want to work towards the future, you could, but then again, I don't think it's worth the investment right now, right? At least right now. The option could be Pepper for the heals, but you're increasing max ammunition by a lot, making her not an optimal option. If you don't care about cooldown reduction, you could be running Marciana, but let's be honest, you need the cooldown reduction. Surprisingly enough, if we remove Dola and you put something like Tia and Naga, it works. Like, it actually works, but then you run into the second problem. Let me put this, and that the second problem is that with this team, you are using Tia and Naga on a shotgun team. Tia and Naga are used for team 1 or team 2, or your hardest hitting teams. So this will only be possible on bosses, on raids, where bosses are super close to you and never anyone else. Like, never anyone else. It's a waste to put Tia and Naga in here, even if it can work, right? So most of the time you're gonna be running Dola, these two girls, and then your last support, which could be Nor, could be Guilty, could be Private, could be whatever you wanna run in there. Honestly, I think rather better than Nor and waste bunnies in there, it's gonna be Guilty a better option overall. Because Guilty was losing some usage already when it comes to burst to unit, but in here she finds a really good place for her. Honestly, that said, this is a super limited unit when it comes to usage and what you can get from her, from how much you need to invest. As a free-to-play player, I would not recommend pulling for her. There is absolutely no way I can recommend for you guys to pull for her. When it comes to wells, of course, get her for raids. When it comes to smaller spenders, if you get lucky with one copy early on, I will say yes, pull for her. Do 1 to 5 multis depending on how much you have, and then save. For the rest of the players, I just don't think it's worth it. But honestly, that's gonna be it. Do let me know if you guys are pulling for her, if you got lucky with her, if you got shafted by her. We got some lucky viewers, we got some really unlucky viewers on the stream getting her. We're gonna be doing viewers pool later tonight on a stream on reset time for NIKKE, so come and say hello in there. Again, let me know what you think about TOVE and if you think she should be on the stove or she's a good unit and we should let her cook. Thank you to my patrons for making this content possible. You can join them with the links in the description down below. Good luck with your pool to generates, and see you in the next one.